Kitchen. It's a Music City foodie, and I'm making red beans and rice. So stay tuned, watch the video, learn how to make red beans and rice. This is the way I make it. We'll put the recipe on there for you so you guys can take the recipe down and make it at home for yourselves. So let's get started. All right, so this is what we're going to put in our red beans and rice. We got some chicken broth, some various Creole seasoning, some oregano, some Goya, some salt, some pepper, some small red beans. Now I like to add small red beans and let them cook down until they're complete mush. Trust me, it works well. We got some celery, some parsley, we got a beer, we got some oregano, fresh garlic, a bell pepper, onion, some andouille sausage, some ham, and my favorite thing to put in it is some pork hocks, smoked pork hocks. So this is what we're going to add to it. All this is going to go in there, and we're going to cook it in a crock pot for about a day and a half, and it'll be perfect. Okay, so we got our garlic on the cutting board. We're going to do this, okay? So I'm going to go through them. I'm going to cut these ends off. Go through this real quick. Now we got our garlic done. We're going to take our celery. We're going to slice that up. So we're doing that right now. We slice our celery up. We'll get that all going good. You want to cut the celery as thin as possible because you basically want it to cook away when it's in there. And I don't put a lot of celery in here, but I put some. I like the flavor it gets now. Some of you make red beans and rice. Say, oh, don't do that. This is the way I do it. If you want to do it your way, do it your way. This is my way. So now we're going to chop this up. You know, just liberal chop. You don't have to be perfect about it. Like I said, it's all going to cook away. So you're not going to see any of this stuff. It's a good way to just chop it up, push it to the side, chop up some more. And we're going to go through and we're going to chop this up. Now, like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be pretty, because you aren't going to see it, trust me. It's going to disappear. So, got some celery. We're going to put this in the crock pot along with everything else. So let's do the garlic. Okay, garlic. Like I said, doesn't have to be perfect. Now some people will say, oh, I use powdered garlic. I don't use anything powdered if I don't need to. I'm going for the flavor. That's what we're going after. All right. So we're going to get rid of all these ends so it doesn't get mixed up with that. We're chopping. All right, we got that. That's gone. We're going to cut the top of the pepper off. Boom. We're going to dice up this pepper to put those on that end. So I'm going to take these. And like I said, this don't have to be perfect because you want all this stuff to pretty much just cook away. That's the nice thing about red beans and rice when you're making it. If you do it right, oh, it's so good. And with my recipe, let me tell you, this stuff is the shiz. So, I know a lot of you New Orleans out there, a lot of Louisiana people out there is like, what the hell is this boy doing? You want all that googly goodness to go in there. Don't worry about little chunks. And watch, trust me. This is all going to cook down and you're going to be amazed by what's left. Do it some chopping. Give it that feeling. Tell it, hey, you know what? I think you might be a little too big, so I'm going to chop you down a little bit. And that's what I'm doing. I'm chopping you down a little bit. All right. So So we're gonna take this, we're gonna slide this over. Like I said, don't worry about mixing it, because mixing it ain't gonna change it any. It's all gonna get done the same. So we're gonna take our onion and we're gonna cut it in half. Now remember, I always take off that first layer because sometimes it gets super, super tough. And then we're gonna cut it up. I'm gonna do one run through, and then we'll go down. Now, as you can see, it's getting pretty full over here. Like I said, man, it don't have to be perfect. It does not have to be perfect. Now, this is a crock pot deal, so you know, some people put theirs in a pot and they cook it on the stove. That's fine. You want to do it that way, you can do it that way. I prefer not to. I want to take time. I want to see it cook down. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add all the peppers and onions to here. Peppers, onions, and the celery. We're going to add all that in there, all that goodness. Now look at that. Look at all that. That's the good stuff. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to take a measuring cup. One of these. All right? And we're going to take our chicken stock. Right here, our broth. We're going to open that up. I'll pour that in there. Now what we want is you want 6 cups. So we're going to do this. That's 2. All right. That's 4. And don't forget, the veggies are going to make some juice too. So we're going to open up this can of beer here. Now I like adding the beer to it. I think the beer gives it a really, really good taste. If I can find my can opener. So we're going to open this up. Now make sure you measure this, because this is the important part. All right. So we're going to take this, we're going to put that in there. All right. So I'm going to say it's about under a cup. Now, chicken stock, that's in there, that's done. This is the good stuff. All right, so we're gonna cut this open. Right. Gonna open it up. We're gonna use 1, not 2, not 3, just 1. Now, get the oregano out. So I'm gonna throw probably about that much oregano. I just drop it in there. This is so easy to put together and so fast. I forgot to show you guys this, but we're gonna have a little bit of whishaw. So we're gonna have 4 shots. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 shots. Now listen, when you're doing beans, it's really important for you to go through the beans. Very important for you to go through the beans. All right, so you got your beans. Now, the most important thing to do with the beans, and I'm telling you, do this. Do not bypass this, because this could cost you thousands. Yeah, you're probably asking, how is this costing me thousands of dollars? So I got about half of that bag. So why I use this board is to look, and I push them over as I look through them. Gotta look really, really close. Go through them all. Don't packaging plant. Don't get all the stones out of your red beans. You know what happens there when they don't get a stone out? You bite down on it, and the next thing you know, you're in emergency dental. Getting a tooth, a crown put back in, or something of that nature. So we're gonna go and pour this stuff in here. You know, I try to be very clean about what I do, as you can tell. I made next to no mess. showed you how simple this is. All right, so we're gonna kick this on low. Start it off on low. I got more beans to go through. I have a lot of beans in here when it's all said and done. Now, the reason why I like the small ones is because that makes the sauce. That makes the sauce. Seriously. That makes the sauce, the gravy of what you need when you're making red beans and rice. Oops, run away. All right. It gets put over there. All right. Let's see how I'm going through it all. Going through. All right, so far in the smalls, we're good. Okay. So we're going to put the smalls in there. Get that done. Now, we're going to go for the big. So let's get the bigs done. All right. And you want to do the same thing. But here, the bigs are a lot easier. Because the bigs you can kind of shake out, and you'll see a rock right away. All right. So we'll throw that much of it, so we'll put it over here. We're going to drop these in there. Now, if you can't find the small kidney beans, don't fret it. Just don't use them. Use the big ones, it's fine. I like the small ones for the sauce. The gravy, I say it makes. The gravy, boy, the gravy, I say it makes. Remember that? The gravy, boy, the gravy. You guys know what cartoon character says that? The gravy, boy, the gravy, I say, the gravy that makes. Not Elvis Presley either. But it's a cartoon character from the 1980s. Do you know what it is? Do you know who it is? If you do, put it in the comments down below and tell me. And I'll tell you if you're right or not. So right now, we're basically just pouring the beans, going through all the beans, making sure there's no stones. We'll go through. Not a bad hole. Not one stone. All right. So we're going to do that. We're going to drop that in there. Now we got that done. How simple was that? Okay. So now we're gonna mix it all together. Now I've told you guys before, you know, I love to use me a wooden spoon. So here's a wooden spoon. So we're gonna get this all mingled together. I want to get it all mixed up with that. Look at that ham. Look at that ham hock right there. Ooh! And we got our oregano in there. Now that ain't all the seasonings we're gonna do. That's just the start of the mingling process. Now look at that. That's all gonna turn into red beans and rice, and you guys are, it's gonna blow your mind when you see it. I wish you had smell-o-vision because you'd be able to smell it right now. Alrighty. Oh, you know, why didn't I put the ham, or why didn't I put the andouille sausage in there? Because you got to give it time to cook a little bit. You got to let them flavors come out. Let them flavors come out, and it'll be good. So is it Creole seasoning? I put a little bit of that in there. A little bit of black pepper. I'll put some salt. Now this is the salt I live by. So if you guys are going to use salt, this is the salt you should be using. None of that iodine stuff. Iodine stuff, it's not good. Just not good, trust me, not good. My red pepper. Look at how red that is. All right? What I do is I get these containers, see how it says Italian? I save those containers and I wash them out, and then I use them for my special spices or my spice mixes that I make. I'll add a little bit of hot sauce to it. But for the most part, that's the seasonings for it. Done in a nutshell right there. Red beans and rice we'll get back to you. We'll cut up the ham. We'll cut up the andouille sausage. We'll throw the seasoning in there. Start getting the seasoning. Now we just want it to come together. We want it to all mingle together. Look at that. Trust me, it's going to be some good vittles. So, well, 4 hours from now, we'll add the ham. Mingling. You know, I'll add some salt in there later. Right now, we kind of just, we want it all to come together. That's what we... Hey, it's Music City Foodie. I'm back. Hey, check it out. It's day 2. All right, so we're back. Okay, so check it out. I already put some ham in there a little while ago. So I left a piece out, you know, kind of give you guys an idea. This is that ham steak that you saw I bought. Right, you're gonna want to cut these up in about 1/4-inch pieces. We're gonna get all this goobly stuff going good here, so we can have ourselves some good red beans and rice. So you said about 1/4 inch. Oh, good. The andouille Cajun sausage. This stuff is so good. Now, I am not going to put all of this in there, just so you know. I'm not going to put it all in there. Okay, I'm probably put 1.5, and then I'll save 1.5 for the very end. And what I like to do is I'll take this and I'll put it in my cast iron skillet, and I'll fry it in the cast iron skillet, and then I'll lay it on top, and you guys will get to see what it looks like. All right. So let's go ahead and slice up the andouille sausage. This is gonna put some more flavor in it. You know, I mean, this stuff is so good. I mean, look at that. That is so good. And, you know, being where I'm at in Tennessee, it's really hard to find some really good andouille sausage. And I don't know, I guess I was lucky. And I just came across this. And I was very happy that I did, because I've been looking for it. And it takes a really good andouille sausage. You can't just use some cheap stuff that they call andouille sausage. You have to use some actual andouille sausage. So, are you ready for this? This has been here now for about, how many hours has it been? Let's see. Well, let's start here. So, when you last watched this, I had added 2 cups of chicken base, which total of 4. All right, we're gonna redo that. So cut that out, Amy. Okay. All right. So as you seen, we did before, we added 4 cups of chicken broth and 1 cup of water and 2 cups of, which was a bottle of beer. We let that cook for about 4 to 5 hours. It all soaked up into the beans. Came back. I added 4 more cups of water to this. And then I just let it go. And you're going to get to see the results of letting it cook. Now, when I did this, I cooked it on low. So I didn't, I didn't cook it on high, I cooked it on low. Overnight, I got up to stir it like at 3 o'clock in the morning. You don't have to do that. I did it, so. But, you ready for this? This is the big time. Here's the show. This is what you all been waiting for. Here we go. All right. This is the red beans and rice. Look at that. You would never think. Look at how the gravy. Look at that gravy, man. You see my chunks of ham I put in there? I told you I put a little bit in there. I did take the ham hock out, break it down, took the fat out, and put the meat from the ham hock back in here. Made sure I didn't leave no bones, because you don't want nobody getting no bones. But this is what happens when you make the red beans and rice my way. So we're going to add the andouille sausage. Coming in. The ham and the andouille sausage, we're going to add that. I'm doing this a little backwards with the cutting board, but that's okay. All right, I didn't add all the andouille sausage, only 1.5. All right. This is just going to give it some more porky goodness, is what I call it, more porky goodness. All right. But look at that. Look at that. Remember how it looked when you saw it? It had all the vegetables in it and all the onions, and you can't even see half of that's in there. You see a little bit of the green pepper left, and that's it. Everything else is gone. It's cooked away. I mean, look, you can barely see those onions. They melted. So, kind of got an idea of what that is. Now we're going to take a real quick taste and let you guys see. Look at the broth. Oh my God. That is unbelievable. Now, of course, you guys didn't get to see me put the seasoning in there, right? But that's okay, because I'm going to give you all the measurements for the seasoning for it. And here is the finished product. Red beans and rice. Good. Get you some of that.